And it was just like, I don't want to talk to you. So if you still trying to talk to me and you're not getting a hint, okay. In this video, I want to tell you guys my horror story of trying to get out of the US and move to Africa. Now, I know you guys have probably already seen my last video of why I actually moved from the States to Africa, but this video, and if you haven't, I will put the card up here, so go check that out and drop a comment and let me know how you like that video. But this video is what led up to me actually leaving. Everything was going smooth. I was working at my job. They kept begging me to literally take a break, take a vacation, use your vacation days. You have 2 weeks of PTO, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it, you know? So I was already thinking strategic because I already knew that I was leaving around 2 months, no, about a month and a half before this point. So I'm like, I'm not gonna take my PTO until I actually need it. And when I need it, I said, I'll do that when I'm actually about to leave. So I bought my ticket, scheduled everything. I was supposed to leave, I believe, February 23rd. And in the beginning of February, they were like, are you gonna take your time off? Are you gonna take your time off? And at this point, I really didn't care about my job anymore because I knew I was leaving. So I would just do whatever. I really put no effort into the job. I really didn't try to do too much at these little patient education demos and all this. I just really didn't care. I was over it because of the way they were treating me, and then 2, how much they wanted us to go above and beyond at the job with little to nothing, basically nothing that they gave us or even gave us incentives. But yeah, so I knew I was leaving at this point, and they were literally begging me to take a vacation, and I'm like, I'll take a vacation soon. And I told them basically that I was going to Vegas because people were already super nosy, and everybody that I was working with ended up going on my YouTube channel. But not only my YouTube channel, they started watching my brother's YouTube channel from my channel. And literally my boss would be like, my manager, I don't like saying boss, my manager would literally be like, hey, so I heard your brother talking about he's gonna take his wrap off. And I'm like, how did he know about this? I don't talk about my brother at work, nor would I ever just volunteer that my brother's gonna take the wrap off his car at work. So how did you hear that? And then I'm thinking back, my brother did a live 2 days ago talking about his wrap. So that's the only way he would have known that. So I'm like, wow, these people are really interested in me. Like, they're really interested in what Shay has going on, to the point that they're now watching my brother's channel and wanting to bring up those points and topics at work, when it's like, when we go home, you don't know me. Mind your business. Don't be in my business. Don't be in my brother's business. Mind your Caucasian business. You should not be watching what I'm doing on my off time and then bringing it up at work. Okay, that has nothing to do with you. So he was, I guess because I really didn't talk to them, they would always try to bring up things about cars to get me interested. And hey, Shay, do you know about this electric vehicle? This electric Mustang is gonna come out. Have you seen it? Hey, are you gonna go? And it was just like, I don't want to talk to you. So if you still trying to talk to me and you're not getting a hint, okay. So I'm like, okay, you know, they started to ask me about me going to Vegas because my brother was talking about it on his channel about us deciding whether we wanted to move to Florida, Atlanta, or Vegas. And so, oh, was it Florida? I think it may have been Texas, Atlanta, or Vegas. So we were deciding between basically those 4 places. And they were like, oh, if you move to Vegas, or are you planning to move on to Vegas? And I'm like, you know, I don't know, I'm thinking about it, but I know you guys have a company out there, so I have to play the part, because at this point I'm like, I know I'm not moving to Vegas anymore. I know I'm moving basically out of the country, and what I do is not going to be available in Africa. So I'm like, and I don't want to work for them no more. So I'm just like, I'm done. I was literally, if I didn't if I didn't move to Africa during that time and I went to Vegas instead, I still wouldn't have worked for them, okay? Just plain and simple. But I had to do what I had to do to finesse, because they were all in my business and I couldn't let them know. And they were very nosy, so they kept questioning me about what my next plan in life was. I'm basically like, okay, I'm gonna schedule my 2 weeks off because I know I'm leaving. Like, my flight is on the 23rd of February. So I go ahead and I work up until the February 22nd because I had everything already set. And so we had moved out of our apartment on the 20th, I believe, of that month, or the 21st of that month. So everything was done. So yeah, so at this point I'm now staying with my mom and we're at her place. We were there for maybe like 2 or 3 days, and so we like, okay, our flight is coming up, we're getting like the last minute things that we need. And basically I go and I'm like trying to schedule the pet stuff, but everything, like as far as my passport, was still not there at that time. So I needed my passport in order to schedule my flight. So at this point I'm like, oh crap, like I don't know what to do. Like, my passport is still not here and it's getting closer to the day. So I think my passport had came like the day we were supposed to leave, or a few days before that. It was somewhere that it was like too close. So at that point I had already canceled my flight, and I said I wasn't gonna book another flight until I had everything set. And the way that it works when you are flying with pets, and I knew I was taking both pets, because if I sent them with Eddie, we would have had only one pet left. So I said, let me make sure I take both pets. And the way you have to do it is when you schedule the flight, you can't book that you have pets flying with you. You have to book the flight, pay for it, then you have to call the airline and say, here's my ticket number, are my pets this size, this age, blah blah blah. Like, you give them all this information about the pets. Can they go on this flight? And if there was, say if there was another dog on the plane but you had 2 cats, the cat can now no longer go on that plane. So now you have to reschedule your ticket and do it again. So it was a very hard process. So I scheduled both of my pets for March 2nd, which was my birthday. So I was actually gonna fly out on my birthday. And so I scheduled the pets. They tell me they're fine. They give me the confirmation. They only give me one confirmation number, but I thought it was for both pets because they said, okay, you guys are all good, basically. So we pack up, we get to the airport, and I'm at the airport. Everything is ready. I didn't feed them for a few hours before we got on the flight. I literally put my cat on a leash. I walked him. I put the dog on a leash. I walked him. I literally like just did everything I was supposed to do before the flight, okay? I'm saying goodbye to my friends. We're crying and we're hugging each other. We're like, oh my God, this is the last time we're gonna see each other for a long time. So, you know, all those emotions are kind of like flowing. So I get to the airport, and basically what they tell me is that they only have my dog confirmed. So my cat was not even confirmed to be on the flight. So I'm like, what do you mean my cat is not confirmed? I got it, the confirmation number, this and this and this. Like, I got everything I needed. I had the tickets, I had the health certificates and everything. And it was a very time sensitive thing because with the health certificates, you have, I believe, 14 days for the health certificate to expire. But once you get the stamp, it's only 10 days. So I had to leave within 10 days. So I'm like, what if, I don't know at this point if my flight is going to be able to be within that time frame, because if not, I'm going to have to pay the money all over again. And I really wasn't trying to, you know what I mean? I was trying to get out of there before then. So after they tell me basically that my cat is not confirmed to be, she's very rude at this point, like super rude. And she's barely giving me information. At one point she just like told me to reschedule my flight. She doesn't know what to do to help me, so just move on with it. And she walks off. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me call customer service, because she was trying to charge me $250, I think $250 or $240 to reschedule my flight. Then they're like, well, we're gonna put this other dog on the flight, so if we put your cat on the flight, it has to go under the plane and you have to go get a whole new a whole new crate for it and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, do you not know, like, my plane is about to leave in less than 30 minutes? Like, how am I supposed to go to Petco, get a whole new flight, call you guys again, let you guys know the weight and everything of the cat thing, and then come back and actually board the flight and all that? That doesn't make sense. So I'm like, you have to reschedule it. So they're like, the next flight out that we have is actually on the 4th, March 4th. So I'm like, okay, well, book it for that day. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna book it, but it's gonna be an extra $120. So I'm like, I'm not about to pay that. Like, I don't know what you're not getting. I'm not paying that. So since I didn't want to pay it, she just got frustrated. She walked off again. And so we're like, no, like, you're gonna finish this conversation. And there was somebody who we were on the phone with about the confirmation of the pets, because she kept saying, we don't have confirmation, we don't have confirmation. So I told her, put me on a flight for the 4th. I'll pay. I just told her, I'll pay it. Just put me on a flight for the 4th. Because at this point, I just needed to get out. It felt like something was chasing me that I just needed to get out of the state. So I'm like, just put me on the flight for the 4th. I'll pay the extra, I think it was like $240. I'll pay the extra $240. And then I'll pay for the pets. Now, this was already expensive, right? My dog was $500 to get from the States to Tanzania. My cat was $250. They told me that they paid that amount was for the beginning destination to the final destination. That was a lie.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
We finally get them scheduled. I pay the money. The person on the phone is like, you need to waive the price of the ticket because it was our fault. It was literally Turkish Airlines' fault. So you need to waive the price of the flight, but still, of course, charge her for the pets or whatever to get on the flight, because at this point I hadn't paid for it yet. They told me you had to pay at the airport once you got there and everything was confirmed. So I pay for them. I get the receipts. I tell them, print me out a receipt for both pets. I need both pets confirmed on a flight. I need all the information. I'm not leaving until I get it. So I'm waiting for them to print it out. At this point, the lady just leaves. She walks all the way this way, and then she took the long way around the airport, and then she tried to run into the back. But she don't know that we runners, we track stars. So me and my mom take off running towards her, and she's literally trying to speed up and get to the back. And so my mom like, take off, like, ugly running. She gets there and she's like, you need to talk to these people on the phone. You need to give us our confirmation. You need to print it out. I don't even know why you left the desk when you didn't finish with your customers. Like, that's rude, blah, blah, blah. So basically, she like, okay, you know, I'm sorry, I'll come back out. So she really had no excuse as to why she left. She just had left. But basically we got the confirmation. So now it's like, okay, now I'm leaving 2 days later. We got the printouts of everything. When I say the Most High was working overtime to get me out of the States, he was definitely working overtime. So after I got everything set up, so basically with my cat, during the day that I literally found out that my flight was canceled, and that I had to reschedule another flight, I ended up, and they tried not to give me my money back for that, and my flight was in total like $1,700. So I was like, I need my money back for that, because they had actually canceled my entire flight and they wanted me to rebook another one. And so they were saying like they were only going to give me partial credit, but they don't know me. I called my bank, got my full refund back, period. You're not going to take my money and then not give me anything, and then it was you guys' fault why I couldn't actually get on the flight that day anyways. But yeah, so basically I knew I was on a time crunch, and I felt like I just needed to get out of the state. So I had to do whatever I had to do to get out. But the biggest takeaway from this is just take your time. Don't let things frustrate you and overwhelm you, because when I say so many obstacles, and there were things that I just rather keep off of YouTube that happened to me as well during this time period of me trying to get out of the States. But no matter what, I said I'm leaving. Like, I'm not gonna let any of these obstacles stop me. There were people who even told me like, you should not go, you're making a bad decision, I don't think you should do this, this is not smart, you know, you'll be back, all this kind of stuff. And I just literally was like, I just tuned it out. I was like, I don't care, I need to go, you know what I mean? So I just want to say, no matter what people are telling you, no matter what doubts and fears that people are projecting from themselves onto you, do not let that stop you in your journey. Only you know what you are capable of mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I feel like being in Africa, it definitely was a spiritual journey. And I feel like I've had so much growth in the last 10 months of myself than I've had in the past 5-6 years, you know, as far as like spiritual. So I would definitely say do what makes you happy. Don't let anybody else, like I said, project their fears onto you, and just keep going. You know, in the words of Nipsey, this is not a sprint, this is a marathon. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm definitely in this marathon, and I'm running laps. You know what I'm saying? I'm running laps, I'm running them. So it's just like, do you, baby. Only you knew what was inside of you. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you have gotten this far, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Matter of fact, slap that subscribe button and turn your notification bell on so that you guys can know the next time I post or go live. And thank you.